speak kwa Kizungu. I have thought it is important that we have this conversation today. As you know, there is a plan by government to sell the GOK stake in Safaricom PLC, and as Kenyans can recall, Safaricom share was trading at 45 shillings in the year 2021, even before Safaricom had invested heavily in Ethiopia, an investment that is coming up very well. And I want to laud actually Safaricom. It has a very good management and board, and no wonder it is one of the best companies in Africa and the best in our region. So they are doing a good job. And therefore the issue here to me is not about Safaricom, but it's more about the government, because they are the owners of the stake they are selling. The government has totally let Kenyans down by wanting to sell Safaricom for a song, because a company that was valued at 1.8 trillion in 2021, that a share was valued at 45 shillings then by the market, then the government, instead of selling at a premium from the last highest price in the last 5 years, they are now selling at a discount of 34 shillings. And then they purport that they are selling at a premium based on the current market price. There is no company in the NSC that is valued appropriately. And therefore you cannot use the valuation in the market to gauge how much value Safaricom is. Secondly, in other words, if you actually look at it from that angle of 2021, valuing Safaricom at less than 2.5 trillion is at a valuing Safaricom, and it should not be the case. The best thing the government ought to have done is actually to divest Safaricom into 3 entities. To have Safaricom the telco, Safaricom Financial Services, and also to have Safaricom Towers, so that the sum of the total becomes more than the whole. And that is what most of the people who want to get value out of their businesses do. But the government, through the National Treasury, definitely sided with the buyers instead of doing what is right for the Kenyan people. The other thing I want to talk about is the fact that this deal is funny in all ways. That beyond the government selling 15% and netting in around 204 billion, they actually are also receiving dividend in advance. In other words, they are taking a loan and mortgaging the dividend for the next many years. So I'm asking those people who are making these decisions, where are you planning to take Kenya? That all the decisions you are making is about mortgaging our country in the future. Kenya will still be here for the next 5 years. It will need the dividends to run the development agenda. I think it is not good that we continue with this kind of recklessness, because the ramifications will be dire. Lastly, Kenya has built roads since independence. If you move from Nairobi here, you'll go to Isiolo, you'll go to Marsabit, all the way to Moyale. There is a very good Class A road built by the government of President Mwai Kibaki, and the people there are not made to pay for that road. If you move from here, you go up to Hispania border, our border with Tanzania. The entire road is tarmac, but Kenyans don't pay to use that road. If you move from here to Namanga border, it is a tarmac road which was built by Kenya. Kenyans are not made to pay for that road. Why are we making Kenyans to pay for the road from Nairobi to Nakuru, from Rironi to Marsabit, and we are crossing any other alternative so that all Kenyans will be made to pay? The government must build that road, but Kenyans must not be made to pay toll on that road, because the road is a public good. Na ya mwisho, kuna hii plan ya kuweka dualing from Pagani to Muthaiga to Kiambu to Duberi Road. That plan was there in 2021, 2022. It had been completed. Instead of the government politicizing that project that had already been concluded the last 3 years, they should apologize to Kenyans who used the Kiambu Road for delaying that road for 3 years, only to build it when it is politically relevant. That road was to start the works in 2022, but of course the delays have had to be orchestrated so that the road is built around when it is politically relevant for that to happen. Otherwise, Kenya is still borrowing 1.25 trillion shillings every year. Kenya is borrowing 3.5 billion every day, including today. And Kenyans must start asking questions about where are these loans going? Where are these debts going? That we are borrowing a net borrowing of 3.5 billion every single day. But to do development, we have to do PPP, and we have to do illegal loans, or we have to sell Safaricom. Where are all these debts going if we have then again to burden Kenyans in the future? Na ya mwisho, even as the government gives us grandiose plans, they must also meet the welfare of the basics. Free basic education is the bare minimum Kenya expects from government. And we expect the government to rescind the decision they have of trying to cut off capitation from January and to add school fees for the scholars from January. That will not happen in this country. They must know what to do, but the issue of adding school fees cannot be a discussion in Kenya. And the issue of confirmation of JSS teachers into permanent and pensionable must also be done immediately, because they were in internship for 1 year. 1 year is ending. The government should not think about renewing internship. The plan should be about confirming them into PNP. And if there is no money in the budget, the government knows clearly they can invoke Article 223, where they can spend the money they bring for ratification to Parliament later. Asante. Yeah. Said in public, the problem